Beginning this fall, tart cherry producers in Michigan will have a new risk management tool at their disposal. With 97% of the cherry market decimated by early freezes in 2012, USDA expanded the cherry crop insurance program to include tarts for the very first time. Producers in 14 Michigan counties on the western side of the state will now have access to this crop insurance product, which provides protection from low yields, low prices, diminished quality, or a combination of these events.
2012 was a disaster, and of course that's what got the impetus going to try to get the tart cherry crop insurance in. We didn't have any coverage other than the NAP program, which is certainly a great help, but the level of coverage is so low that it doesn't pay the bills.
So just what was the push behind the Risk Management Agency's decision to add coverage for tart cherries beginning this fall for the 2014 crop season?
Because of the situation in 2012, the industry approached our legislators to try to help us get crop insurance for tart cherries. And in that process, we had a lot of meetings with legislative people, and then RMA came out to hear what we had to say, because we already have a sweet cherry policy, but it was just a pilot, and it only covered 2 counties up here.
Michigan U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow, who chairs the Senate Agriculture Committee, was quoted as saying, "No farmer should be wiped out because of a few bad days of weather, and this new coverage will help Michigan's growers manage their losses without losing the farm."
This is my first year operating the farm under my name and my wife's. Insurance plays a big role. Luckily, we didn't use it this year like my dad did last year. If it wasn't for last year's premiums that got paid out, I don't see the farm being here in the capacity that it was this year.
A concern heard among all producers is, can I afford this coverage?
Most farmers that I talk to that haven't had crop insurance in the past, they don't realize really the cost of it. They think it's going to cost way too much money to insure a crop. And when you break it down per acre, it really is not that expensive.
When losses are catastrophic, such as in 2012, the timing of relief payments can differ dramatically, whether from a disaster program through the Farm Service Agency or the payment of a claim through crop insurance.
The payment programs on disasters can take up to 24 months, especially with cherries, with the way the pricing is delayed and not known final NAS. You got preliminary NAS in January, final NAS in June, early July. So obviously when you have a disaster or a crop failure or a crop issue, your bills are still coming in. So this policy will be a much faster result of cash to your operation.
Tart cherry coverage can be purchased in 5% increments from 50 to 75%, and a minimum of 4 years of sales records are a requirement of the policy. In addition, beyond adverse weather conditions, other covered perils include, but are not limited to, wildlife damage, damage from insects, and plant disease. And so what else is there to know about this new crop insurance coverage?
It's important to get your 4 to 10 year, especially with the crops that we've had with 10, 11, and 12. You want to use that longer history to build your APH bank up to the highest volumes you can as the grower.
Within the policy, National Agricultural Statistics Service prices are utilized just as in the sweet cherry policy. This is very important for the producer.
I think the NAS pricing has served us well on the sweet cherry side since the pilot program came about, I think, in late 90s. I want to say 98, but I don't recall the year. I think it's a good tool. You always have the option to bring in your own at-farm true data if you choose to use that.
Crop insurance coverage stretches well beyond tart cherries. Other fruits such as grapes, blueberries, apples, and peaches are also covered in select Michigan counties. This is coverage that provides a much-needed safety net to our fruit producers.
The crop insurance plays a huge role with the farmers in regards to the production and their farm management practices. Last year was a pretty devastating year in 2012 on the fruit crop. These apples behind me, there was virtually nothing on the trees on this entire farm. The apples were totally destroyed, as well as the peaches, and the grapes were also hurt to a pretty bad extent.
This risk management tool is an essential one to have in place and should be an important piece of a farmer's farm business plan.
I think probably one of the most important things before you sit down with any crop specialist is really to understand your cost. I think where a lot of people, they look at their fertilizer, they look at their spraying, they look at their labor. There's a lot of things that I think a lot of producers forget about.
There's spraying, there's the production, there's the pruning, there's the hand-picked harvesting. A lot of money goes into the operation every year.
It's pretty obvious after 2012, the losses that Michigan experienced. It's important just for the fact that no matter how well you prepare and plan and take care of your fields and your orchard, a simple thing as an early freeze or a drought can wipe out everything that you ever did. So our thoughts and ideas is that we sit down with you, we take a look at all your exposures, your expenditures, and we put together a comprehensive plan that will help you protect all of that.
The deadline to purchase crop insurance for tart cherries and other insurable fruit is November 20th. To learn more about adding this risk management tool to your farming operation, contact a Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance crop specialist today.